I wish I had a camera that was just with my eyes. The way I see the world through my eyes is what I want to do. I just want to have like the widest, biggest image I can get. I'm Juno Calypso. I'm an artist or photographer, depending on how I feel that day. I take pictures of myself dressed up as a character, and I've been doing that for the last 6 years, I think. In order to become that character, all I really need is a wig, a costume, or sometimes no costume at all, and a place where I can just go and be myself. It's kind of a performance in a way. It's like a performance for the camera. I think people expect me to be like a film nerd, like to know everything about what I'm doing. I think when people look at my work and think, oh, it's a character, it's a film, there's a story, I'm like, no, you have no idea. This is like hanging by a string. It's just a character without a story. It's like I gave her a name because I thought it was funny, and now I can't really escape that name. How's Joyce? How's she doing? Who is she? Am I talking to Joyce right now? Or am I talking to Juno? And I'm like, no, it's really not that deep. It was made for an installation, but now it's very useful because I've always said I need 2 of me. And now I've got 2 of me. But I don't like looking at it. I like horror films, but I don't like horror films, if you know what I mean. I'll just skip through without the sound on. I think I can handle anything, and so I'm like, yeah, let's watch it. But then when I actually watch it, my brain can't unwatch it. One of my favourite films recently is The Lobster. So it's like a sort of near-future, dystopian, surrealist, almost horror, where it's sort of set in a hotel where after 45 days, if you haven't found a partner and settled down and you've got something in common, you get turned into an animal, which is great.
Now, have you thought of what animal you'd like to be if you end up alone?
Yes, a lobster.
Why a lobster?
Because lobsters live for over 100 years. Are blue-blooded, like aristocrats. And stay fertile all their lives.
These kind of films, they make me feel at home. I feel like this is my mood, finally. The way Colin Farrell speaks in the whole film is just so monotone and disjointed and so sullen. And it's like, yeah, these are my people. Like, this is it. It's very depressing, but there's that black humor in it that I love. So in 2015, I went to a honeymoon hotel in America by myself for a whole week. And then I think I saw The Lobster after I was there, and there were so many similarities, especially like the dining room and the social situations. I love a depressing party scene in a film where it's like the yellow balloons, the band there in their suits, and then just them singing terribly together. Like that is what I love, like sort of joyful situations, but really depressingly produced. The main theme in my work, I guess it is women. It is femininity, but very artificial femininity. So femininity taken to the extreme. And then underneath that, it's about the emotion. It's about the feeling of desire and the feeling of disappointment and how those feelings go together. Someone recommended that I watch Rita, Sue and Bob 2 when I was at university and starting this whole project. When I found out it was written by a woman, or a girl really, when she was a teenager, Andrea Dunbar wrote it when she was 18. And when I found out that, I was like, okay, I need to know more about this girl. Who is she? It's a film about these 2 girls having an affair with a much older man called Bob, who for some reason wears the same white suit the whole way through the film, which I love. And there's a few dancing scenes in the film. And there's one that I like where they're babysitting and they're in the living room of Bob. When do you ever get to see 2 young girls drinking, laughing, being rude? There's no saving grace about them. There's no politeness about them. All the sofas are very pink with these sort of white net curtains. There's lots of very 80s outfits, like matching outfits.
Are we gonna... Well, you know.
What's well, you know?
What she means is, are we gonna have a jump?
Why?
Well, that's what we come up here for, innit?
Oh, it is, yeah.
I'm going first. Why can't I? Because you can't.
I always have to go second.
What difference does it make? Who goes first? You both get the same thing.
That's not fair. I want to go first.
Why?
Because when I go second, it's not so good. You knock about it second time.
I use a lot of pink in my work, a lot. And I get asked a lot why, and I really Like, there is a very intellectual reason why, but really it's just because I'm drawn to it. People say, like, if red signifies love, then pink is like flirtation and sort of seduction and desire and everything that comes before the true love bit. Even like the working man's club, like a kind of masculine environment, there's all these pink seats and the guy singing in the pink suit and there's pink light. Maybe it was used for a reason, maybe not, but it was the 80s, who knows? There was a bit of pink around. The Arbor is a really original take on a documentary because they've got the real footage from the 80s of Andrea Dunbar and then actors playing her family, lip-syncing these interviews. I was attracted to this film because I wanted to know more about Andrea Dunbar, and I just thought, like most people, I was fascinated by her as this sort of young, reckless, talented girl who had problems with addiction and she had problems. And so I watched The Arbor expecting it to be this sort of sensational thing about how crazy she was. And straight away, it just pulls the rug under your feet.
Oh, OK, it's your life. Do what you want.
Don't worry, I will.
But don't come running to me when people start calling you.
I'm a big girl now. I don't have to be self.
Oh, do what you want.
I will, don't worry.
So I met Andrea, and it was an extraordinary first interview with a writer, who at that point was staying in a battered wives' home in Keighley, because she'd never been out of Yorkshire before, never been in a theatre.
I don't know, it makes me think a lot about how much do you sacrifice for your art, because we really celebrate that. We think how great to sacrifice everything and to devote yourself to your work. But what if you're neglecting real people like your children, and what if that you're even abusing them? And the film really tears away that glamour. I just ended up completely falling in love with Lorraine, her daughter, because her story is just so sad. There's just a really beautiful scene of her just as like a little girl on top of her dad's car dancing in the middle of a field. And it's like, that's the one moment of joy in her life. I like women that have been rebellious, but I guess that film wasn't, I looked to the film for more inspiration. Like, yeah, I can be as crazy as I want. I can do whatever I want. Like, I'm troubled, deal with it. I've done something. But then you watch it and you're like, yeah, maybe I need to rethink my life. I think I'm drawn to independent cinema because it tends to be a bit more crude and rude in a way. I guess they can be a bit more weird and they probably don't have to stick to as many rules. And it's usually people just sort of taking a pure idea they had and making it happen rather than something that's been really overproduced. And that's a cut.